year ago, I started telling people that I was going to leave my lovely Larkspur apartment palace, get rid of about 90% of my worldly possessions, and hit the road. The word that most people said when they heard that I was going to do that was, wow. Today, I am going to share a very short version of what I have been doing since last October. How many of you have heard the word, the road less traveled? For me, when I thought about it, it was about hearing so many times in my life that the road more traveled should be one where I stay in one place, I'm with one person, and I do one thing. That has never really been my life, and it was even less so my life when I chose to leave this lovely place a year ago. I had to, in many ways, put a blanket of hope and faith over the barbed wire of my fears, which were trying to make me stop doing this. Because I saw something in the distance that was important to me and felt like it was worth whatever risks I had to take. I moved to a friend's home in Grass Valley and started doing way too many things, building my business, getting in great shape, finishing my memoir, and all of these things made me realize that I didn't know what I was doing, that all the wisdom that I had found was somehow nowhere to be found. The Zen priest Suzuki Roshi says, in the beginner's mind, there are many possibilities, but in the expert's mind, there are few. I had to relearn that the expert's mind is a very dangerous place to live. So what did I do? It continued to be challenging. My Prius died sooner than I meant it to die. I bought a motorcycle and I crashed it. I was taking way too long to get the memoir to my editor. My business was floundering. And I really was finding myself losing faith and then finding it and then losing it and then finding it. In December, I moved to the East Bay and I stayed in a variety of friends' homes and I discovered Getaround and Lyft and Uber. I found other ways that I needed to get where I needed to go. But the most important thing that I relearned as I was poring over my calendar and changing things over and over again was the detours are to be expected. In March, April, and May, I did a lot of traveling. I went to Mexico to see my familia. I went to Minneapolis to join with 10,000 other writers, editors, and publishers. I went to Austin, Texas to celebrate with Las Comadres para las Americas, their 15th anniversary, and also to be an exhibitor for the first time. And yet, and still, I kept not making progress in the things that I really wanted to do. The business was still floundering. I had queried agents about my memoir, and while they loved the book, they said that memoirs didn't sell unless I was both famous and I had an addiction. And I thought, okay, no can do. So what I learned was that dead ends signal a strategic moment. Even if you can see the right path and you know that you're doing what you need to be doing. In June, I started a month-long house sit in Berkeley with Jezebel the cat. And I hired a coach because I needed to get something to happen. And he said, you are doing too many things. You interrupt your sentences. You need to slow down and pick one thing. Now, first of all, I wanted to tell him, I'm an Aquarian, okay? We do interrupt ourselves because we have so many fabulous ideas. And we're a little arrogant. We think they're all great and they're all going to happen. Nevertheless, I thought, okay, I got to listen. I got to try it. I have to finish my sentences with a period. I need to focus on my coaching, which is what his suggestion was. What I learned was when you are in that narrow place that feels like failure, you have to keep your head up so that you can keep your eyes on the prize. I kept focusing on getting out of my left brain, which was, how do I do it? How do I do it? How do I do it? And getting into my right brain, which is all about inner knowing what we know without even trying to figure it out. It's all there. And I was absolutely committed no matter how many times I worried that people, you can't really see him, but there's a man here who is trying to pole vault. Here. And how many times I thought, oh, people are judging me and they're thinking that I'm crazy for doing what I did. I had to remember, most people don't really care. No. Most people are trying to get up over their own fears, trying to get to their own goals. Every moment I spent being judgmental was useless and didn't get me there. So I had to relearn that anxiety over the outcomes was not helpful. What I needed to do was continue to connect with my higher self, and that helped me to connect with other people's higher selves. In July, I went to Green Gulch Farm and Zen Center. I meditated, I thinned fennel transplants, I walked to Muir Beach, I read wonderful books, and I rested. I recalibrated and re-energized and refilled my gas tank of spiritual and emotional well-being. The very last day I was there, I found out I had been accepted to Squaw Valley Community of Writers. And I had been applying to residencies and conferences for years, 19 no's. When that yes came in, I did everything I had to clear my schedule and get there. And what I relearned, that I was committed to staying, to believing in what I knew was true. In July, I went to a Kentfield sublet. I joined my Toastmasters group again, went back to my yoga practice center, and reveled in the beauty of Marin, which is where all these pictures were taken. I queried 2 more agents, got 2 essays accepted for publication, and coached several people through their first nutritional cleanses. And I relearned that strong bridges wait for your return, like a trusted friend. I want to close by reviewing the lessons that it was a surprise to me. I had thought this is all about people who are on the road less traveled, and I realized no, this is for all of us on whatever life path of self-leadership we are on. Beware the expert's mind. Detours are to be expected, and dead ends signal a strategic moment. Keep your head up. Connect with your higher self and stay until the mud settles. And finally, strong bridges wait for your return. In many ways, my path is no smoother than it was 10 months ago, but I would like to think that I'm a different person, that I am no longer focusing so much on what it means to be an expert and returning again and again to what it means to be a beginner. And when I do that, it's a journey of heart and hands, one that I invite you to stay with in your own lives and never give up. Even if you fall down, just get up and look again for those new possibilities. Thank you.